Hello Nistas and Nistas, how are you today? Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you guys for coming back to the channel. I'm SavingsFashionista, and over here we do mainly things fragrances, you guys. And today I want to share with you the fragrances that I wore starting the week of October the 13th. So if you're interested in hearing about those fragrance and combinations, please stay tuned. Alright, so starting on Sunday, you guys, I started off with one of my favorite body care items from Saltair. I started off, of course, in the shower with the shower gel, and then I went in with the oil. This is the Santal Bloom, and I also use the fine fragrance mist along with the Serum deodorant. You guys, this is the ultimate body care layering combination. It can be worn in isolation and it projects all day. It's really that good. But the fragrance that I wore with it on Sunday is this Endless Shopping by Trussardi. I learned about this. I knew nothing about this brand. I learned about this by way of Simply Aisha. She always gives us the heads up on all the deals over in the little group at Instagram. And when I looked up the fragrance, she talked about how nice it was on this particular day, and I'm like, I need some more laid back type of fragrances. And when I looked it up, it had the fragrance of the season in it, and it does have honeycomb in it, and this is so nice, you guys. Smells like an expensive hotel to me. All right, so moving on into Monday, you guys, I wore just my regular Fenty Butta. And this is the original one. This is not the one with the shimmers. The one that came in the holiday packaging this year came with the shimmers, and I just needed a really good moisturizer. So I wore this because I wanted to wear the Marc Jacobs Perfect Elixir again in isolation so that I can experience it and bring you all my thoughts about it. And I have uploaded that video, so if you would, you can click the card above to check out my thoughts on the Marc Jacobs Perfect Elixir. This is the latest from the Marc Jacobs Perfect line. Such a beautiful fragrance. Another fragrance with that beautiful honey note. I think it has some plum and I think some rhubarb in it, but it's absolutely beautiful and worth having in the collection. Such a nice designer fragrance. Again, Marc Jacobs Elixir from the Perfect line. All right, moving on into Tuesday, I started off with my Cocoa Shea oil, and this was one of those days where I put something on and I just could not quite figure out what would pair good with it. So, and a lot of times with those fragrances, they perform very well on their own. So I just went in very heavy with my Cocoa Shea moisturizer. That was my moisturizer base. And the fragrance that I wore on Tuesday is one of my fragrances from the House of Sillage. And this is Love is in the Air. I hope I'm not blinding you guys. But this is Love is in the Air. Very beautiful fragrance, absolutely beautiful fragrance. It's a very mature fragrance for me, but it still has this fun flirtiness to it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It has a very strong top note of plum. It has some white florals, and it has a musky dry down. So again, this is Love is in the Air by the House of Sillage. On Wednesday, I started off again with one of my Fenty butters, and this is the Vanilla Dream, and this is the one with the shimmering oil. So good. This one, I think this is one that I had from last year as well. Yeah, because this one is not a part of this year's holiday set, but this is an extra one that I had from last year. So I went in with that. Such a great vanilla scent if you need a really good moisturizing vanilla base. And the fragrance that I wore, you guys, and it was so good. I was smelling my sweater just last night. I had got my sweater from out of the car, and I was smelling, it smelled so good. And on this particular day that I had that sweater on, I was wearing this. I hope I'm not blinding you all with this reflection, but this is Ophidion's Sweet Surrender by Paris Corner. And this fragrance, you guys, it is inspired by the Billie Eilish, the original Billie Eilish, the first one. And you know, Neighbor is Gold is from that same fragrance DNA, but to me, you guys, this one is a little bit better because it's just a little sweeter and it has a little bit more fruity notes in it that I really like, but the cacao and the vanilla, it is so good. Really enjoyed this. So that was my fragrance for Wednesday. Now moving on into Thursday. Thursday, I wore my Coco Shea honey, and it started in the shower with the moisturizing body wash. So I went in with these two moisturizers. This is the oil I like so much, with the body lotion, and I drenched myself with the fine fragrance mist. This is another body care item, you guys, that you can wear in isolation. You're going to get you about 4 to 5 hours with this. That's the fragrance that I wore. And then I added Bianco Latte, because Bianco Latte does have that sweet honey note, and this was so good with that. But I didn't stop there, you guys. So I did one of the top bottom things that I like to do sometimes. And what I put on the bottom was this Choco Violet by Mancera. This is like a floral vanilla fragrance with some rich chocolate in it. It is a very polarizing fragrance, in my opinion. To me, it's either you like it or you don't. And I also believe that it has to be worn in the right time, or I have to be in the mood for it. But you guys, I was getting whiffs of this from the bottom with this that lasts all day on the top. It was so good together. So that was my fragrance combination for Thursday. Now moving on into Friday, I started in the shower again with my favorite from Saltair. Went in with the Santal Bloom body wash, and then I went in with these three items: the oil, the fine fragrance mist, and the Serum deodorant. All the same fragrance, so good. And the fragrances that I wore on this particular day was the Bouquet Ideal by Xerjoff's Casa Morati line. And this is a pretty fragrance, you guys. It does have that white tobacco note in it, and it has some fruits, and it is so good. So this is one of those fragrances that puts me a lot in the mind of Sunshine by Amouage, and it's just really something about that white tobacco that I am really vibing with. So I went in with that, but I wanted to add just a little bit more sweet fruitiness, so I also paired it with 100 Silent Ways from Nistas. So that was my fragrance for Friday. Then moving on into Saturday, you guys, I was in the house all day long. It was a completely laid back type of day. My morning shower started again with the Saltair Santal Bloom, and I went in with all three of the other body care products that I really enjoy from this line, and I smell this all day long. So those were my fragrances for the week of October the 13th, you guys. If you have any additional questions about the things that I share with you, leave those in the comment section below. If you have some fragrance combinations that you think would enhance what I've shared with you, or your favorite fragrance combinations, leave those in the comments below. I want to thank you so very much for coming back to the channel. I greatly appreciate you, and do not forget, you, yes you are great. Bye-bye.